leaving to Bratislava.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. I'm sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Never the same. Never going, running, I'm taking my sweet time.
Hey guys, good morning from Vienna. It's day 2 of my Austria trip, and today is going to be all about exploring some Vienna's most beautiful palaces, gardens, and historic landmarks. I started my day with breakfast at the hostel before heading out to the famous Schönbrunn Palace. Yeah, guys, so this is day 2. I'm heading to the Schönbrunn Palace. You're a bit late, you have to catch a metro. Let's talk that. So, after having morning breakfast at the Wombat Hostel, I went to the metro station, which is called U-Bahn in Vienna. We have to go to the Schönbrunn Palace metro station, which is not too far. So one thing I really liked about the Vienna metro, it's clean, efficient, and really easy to use. So within short time, we have reached the Schönbrunn Palace metro station, and now we are heading out. Here you can see the ticket machine where we can take the metro ticket, and this is the validating machine where we have to validate the metro ticket before entering the train. So you have both the options. You can buy the ticket on the ticket machine, or you can buy the ticket on the mobile app. So now we have just reached Schönbrunn Palace. We took the metro, and we have just about time to enter. I've already taken the ticket from the Schönbrunn Palace app. So let's see. So we are at the Schönbrunn Palace now. Finally. We're at the Schönbrunn Palace now. So guys, welcome to the Schönbrunn Palace, the former summer residence of Habsburg Emperor. This magnificent palace has more than 1400 rooms and is one of Austria's most important cultural landmarks. I had already purchased the classic pass to the official app, which made the entry very convenient. I purchased the classic pass to Schönbrunn Palace app. I found it to be a pretty good deal because it wasn't just the palace entry, it also included access to the Privy Garden, Orangery Garden, the maze, and the Gloriette viewing terrace. Since I planned to spend most of the day here, it made easy to get the pass and explore everything. The moment you walk into Schönbrunn Palace, you can feel the history around you. This palace was the summer residence of the Habsburg rulers, and for hundreds of years, some of Europe's most powerful people lived here. One thing I really liked was that photography and video recording was allowed in many areas, so I could capture some of the experiences for the vlog. As you move through the rooms, you start noticing the incredible attention to detail. The furniture, the chandelier, the paintings, the wall decorations, and ceilings all look like they belong in a movie set. But the crazy part is that this isn't a movie set. This was real life for emperors and empresses. One of the first rooms that really caught my attention was the room associated with Mozart. Imagine this, Mozart was only 6 years old when he performed for the royal family here. As I stood in the room, it was hard not to think about how many famous historical figures had walked through these halls. And then came the highlight of the palace tour, the Great Gallery. Honestly, no photo or no video truly prepares you for this room. As soon as I walked in, I just stopped for a moment and looked around. The chandeliers are massive, the ceiling artwork is stunning, and everything is covered in gold details. This was where the royal family hosted grand banquets, celebrations, and important events. You can almost imagine nobles and diplomats filling in this hall hundreds of years ago. Of all the rooms in the palace, this was definitely one of the best rooms. After World War II, many important diplomatic events and meetings were held here. Then I came across one of the most unexpected rooms in the palace. The room was decorated with Indo-Persian miniature paintings. And honestly, I wasn't expecting to see something connected to India inside an Austrian palace. The artwork was beautiful and very detailed. Being from India, it felt special seeing this influence represented so far from India. After finishing the palace interiors, I headed outside to explore the gardens. The palace is impressive, but the gardens are on a complete different level. The ground seems endless. You have got perfectly maintained pathways, flower beds, statues, fountains, and beautiful views in every direction. I can now understand why people recommend setting aside a full day for Schönbrunn. My next stop was the Privy Garden. This area feels much quieter and more intimate than the main gardens. The flower arrangement are beautifully designed and everything looks incredibly well maintained. It's the kind of place where you just slow down and enjoy the surroundings. From there, I continued to the Orangery Garden. This was where exotic plants and citrus trees were once grown for the imperial family. It's interesting to see how much effort and planning went into every part of the palace life. Even the gardens had their own purpose. What I found really interesting was that there are still fruit trees here today. I could see apple trees, grapevines, and peach trees, which added a very different feel compared to the formal palace gardens. It was nice to see that this part of Schönbrunn still maintains its connection to the past. You can imagine how these gardens would have supplied fresh fruits to the royal household centuries ago. Another thing I really appreciated here was the weather. Although it was a hot and sunny afternoon, there was a continuous breeze flowing through the garden. After spending hours walking around the palace grounds, that cool breeze felt incredibly refreshing. Sometimes it's the small things like finding a peaceful garden, sitting under the shade of a tree, and feeling the wind on a warm sunny day that becomes some of the most memorable moment of a trip. I spent a few more minutes walking around the garden, just enjoying the atmosphere, looking at the fruit trees and taking in the calm surrounding before continuing my exploration of Schönbrunn. And here I was looking for water and bought this for 3.5 euros. And here is searching for water. Let's see how much time it takes. This was the maze. I thought this would take just a few minutes, but once I got inside, I quickly realized it wasn't as easy as it looked. I definitely took a few wrong turns and enjoyed a lot. Finally, here. Yeah, so you have quite a hike to go to the Gloriette from here. After exploring the gardens, it was finally time to head to the Gloriette. I'm not going to lie, after several hours of walking, the uphill climb felt a little challenging. But every few minutes I would turn around and the view kept getting better and better. So I just kept going. And then came the best part, the view from the Gloriette. From up here, you can see the entire Schönbrunn Palace complex stretching out below you. The palace gardens, the fountains, the pathways, everything is perfectly symmetrical. I must have spent at least 20-30 minutes just standing here taking it all in. These are the moments that make travel so special. You spend hours exploring, walking, learning about history, and then suddenly you find yourself standing somewhere like this, looking over one of the most beautiful palaces in Europe. And honestly, every step was worth it. From morning, I've been here at the Schönbrunn Palace. I've taken the pass 8:45, and now it's almost 3. So I've taken the classic pass, saw all the 40 rooms in the palace and the 4 gardens with this glorious top. It's definitely worth of the classic pass. Once I reached the top, I decided it was the perfect time for the lunch. So I stopped at the Gloriette Cafe and Restaurant and enjoyed the lunch in the historic cafe overlooking the palace. Now I'll try this bicycles for a change from a metro and a tram. After spending almost the entire day at Schönbrunn Palace, I was honestly pretty tired. But Vienna had much more famous places waiting for me. Belvedere Palace. I decided to do something different and rented a Lime electric bike. It was actually a fun way to get around the city. Vienna had excellent cycling infrastructure, and riding through the streets gave me a chance to see a different side of the city beyond the tourist attractions. Luckily, I had taken my GoPro along with me to shoot the experience on the Lime scooter. As I approached Belvedere Palace, the first thing that caught my attention was how elegant it looked. Unlike Schönbrunn, which feels like a massive imperial residence, Belvedere feels more refined and artistic. The palace sits at the end of the beautifully landscaped garden, and the view looked back towards the palace is absolutely picture perfect. This is one of those places where you find yourself stopping every few minutes just to take a photo. Belvedere Palace was originally built in the early 18th century as a summer residence of Prince Eugene of Savoy, one of Europe's most successful military commanders. The palace complex is actually made up of two buildings, the Upper Belvedere and the Lower Belvedere, connected by the beautiful Baroque gardens. Today, it is one of Austria's most important museums and is home to impressive collections of Austrian art. What I enjoyed most about Belvedere wasn't just the palace itself, it was the atmosphere. There were people relaxing on the lawns, tourists taking photos, and locals enjoying the evening. The whole palace felt peaceful and elegant. After a busy day of sightseeing, it was nice to slow down and simply enjoy being there. After the afternoon slowly moved towards evening, the sunlight became softer and the place looked even more beautiful. This was definitely one of my favorite photography spots in Vienna. So, guys, after an amazing day exploring Vienna palaces and gardens, I'm now heading out for dinner with friends. It's been a long but memorable day, filling with history, beautiful views, and great experiences. That's it for today's vlogs. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next adventure from Vienna.
Hier war auch so, ja, was geht?